Morning, my lovely children. How are you all? I hope you are all fine. Okay, last Sunday we started talking about traditional stories or fairy tales. Okay, there is something special about these stories. Of course, these stories are not real. Okay, okay, let us see together. Now, we're going to write here traditional stories, and we're going to remember together what is so special about these stories. Okay, we say here any story we read has special, has two things. Okay, must have, I told you, two things. What are the two things? Who can tell me? Without them, there will not be a story. Okay. First thing is the setting. And the second thing are the characters. Excellent. So without these two things, there will not be a story, right? Can you imagine a story without characters? For example, people or animals that are in the story? Of course not. Okay, what are the settings? The settings are the place and also have the time. Here, the place and the time. The place where the story will happen. Okay. Okay, and then we have the time. Let us remember together. And the time. In a traditional story, here. Okay, in a traditional story, what do you think the settings are? Where was the place? Can anyone remember here? Where was the place? The place we were talking about? Uh-huh. Who can tell me the place? Who can remember? Okay, so we can have here, for example, those. Okay, what else? We can have the place in the forest. Okay, it could happen in a castle, right? And it could happen in a kingdom. Okay, or it could happen in a cottage. Okay, what about the time? Who can remember the time? I said once, time, the time. Okay, we can have a long, long time ago. We can have example in a far away And okay, so this is what is special about a traditional story. Again, I will tell you any story must have two things, the settings and the characters. What are the settings? It is the time and the place and the time. Where could a traditional story happen? In the woods, in the forest, in the castle, in a kingdom, in a cottage. Okay, and when does this happen? Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, in a faraway kingdom. Okay, let us talk a bit about the characters. Okay, what, what about the characters? What about the characters? What about the characters? What's so special about the characters? Okay, the characters we have good characters. Okay, good characters, and we also have the bad characters. Bad characters, right? This is what is special about the characters. Okay, so we can have like witches. This is really bad characters. We can have fairies. These are from the good characters. We have dwarves, like in the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay, so we can have good characters and bad characters. Okay, all right. What is so special in these stories also, we find here that we have magic. Okay? Some magic happens. We have magic in the story. Not a must to find magic in every story, but from some stories, they do have, yes, magic in them, like the story of Cinderella, as we said. Okay, so let us wrap up the lesson. Okay, traditional stories. Okay, that's what we are talking about. Traditional stories. Any story, we said, it has settings and characters. Okay, the settings here is the place and the time. Where could a traditional story or a fairy tale story happen? In the woods, in the forest, in the castle, in the kingdom, in a cottage. Okay? Okay, what about the time? Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, in a faraway kingdom, this is the time that it could happen in. Okay, when we talk about the characters, we say good characters. There are good characters and there are bad characters. Okay, bad characters like the witches. Okay, good characters like the fairies, like the dwarfs. These are the good characters. Okay, and what's special about the traditional stories? We could have magic. Okay, last time we started our traditional tale about Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, we read about it. So let us continue. We answered numbers 1 and 2 and then we stopped. Okay. Okay, let us remember together. What about Little Red Riding Hood? This is the title. Okay, again, it started with Once Upon a Time, and this is the time that we were talking about. A young girl called Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood, this is the character. Okay, and where did she live, or the place? It was in a forest. Okay, so from here we know that this is a traditional tale or a traditional story or a fairy tale. Let's continue answering the comprehension. Grandmother's house was on the other side of the forest, but unfortunately, in the forest there lived a big bad tiger. Okay. Okay. Um, let's see here. Grandmother's house was on the other side of the forest, but unfortunately, what does unfortunately mean? Unfortunately means that it wasn't that much lucky, okay? Because there lived a big bad tiger. Okay, let us answer together. Where was grandmother's house? Was it on the other side of the town, or on the other side of the village, or on the other side of the field, or on the other side of the forest? Yes, excellent. It is on the other side of the forest. As I told you, if you are not sure of the answer, you can go back to the text and read. So it was on the other side of the forest. Okay, who else lived in the forest? Who else other than grandmother lived in the forest? Okay, here I'm going to write the answer. A big bad tiger. A big bad tiger lived in the forest. Let's move to the other question. When the tiger saw Little Red Riding Hood, he whispered. Means he didn't talk loudly, whispered. Looks rather delicious. I took this word before. Delicious means yummy. Okay, I think I'll have her for my supper. What does this mean? It means that he wants to eat her up. What did the tiger whisper? She looks rather tasty. She's a naughty girl. She looks rather delicious. Or she's got rosy cheeks. Excellent. She looks rather delicious. Okay. Which meal did the tiger want Little Red Riding Hood for? Which meal? We have three meals. Okay, which meal? He says, I think I'll have her for my supper. Okay. The tiger wanted Little Red Riding Hood for supper. Okay, so for supper is the answer. Okay, let us move to the next part. When she arrived at her grandmother's house, what happened? Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. Come in, my dear, said a funny voice. Okay. What do you expect? She is her grandmother? Okay, let us find out. Now we are going to answer the questions. What did Little Red Riding Hood do when she arrived at her grandmother's house? What did she do? So we need to look for a verb. She had a cup of tea? No, you can say so. She knocked on the door? Okay. She looked through the window? She hid in the dustbin. Now let us go back to the text. When she arrived at her grandmother's house, what did she do? Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. Can we find this answer here? Yes, she knocked on the door. Excellent. Good. This is a terrible tip. This is the answer. Okay. Question number 8 says, what did the funny voice say? What did the funny voice say? Okay, here's the answer. Okay. Come in, my dear. Okay. So fun voice said, come in, my dear. Okay. Nervously, Little Red Riding Hood opened the door and went into the house. Come closer, my dear, said the funny voice. Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. Nervously means that she was not happy. She was a bit mad. Okay, she wasn't happy, nervous. Okay. Or nervously, she was like confused. Okay, you can use it here as confused. How was Little Red Riding Hood feeling when she opened the door? She was happy? No. She was sad? No. She was nervous? Yes. She was excited? No. So she was nervous. Okay? And here the meaning is like when you are nervous, you are not stable. Like when you have an exam, you are a bit nervous. Okay? You are worried. And here Little Red Riding Hood was worried because maybe she didn't recognize the voice. It wasn't her grandmother's voice, and she started to get confused and she started to get nervous. Okay? She's not used to this voice. Okay. Oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. All the better to see you with, my dear, said the funny voice. Come closer. So Little Red Riding Hood started to ask her grandmother, what about the big ears you have? And what about the big eyes you have? And in every time, and each time, the voice says, come closer. What did Little Red Riding Hood notice? Notice means to see something about her grandmother's eyes. They looked very small. They looked very wide. They looked very big. They looked very strange. Okay, what was it? It was big. So they looked very big. Let's move. Oh, grandmother, what big teeth you have, said Little Red Riding Hood. All the better to eat you will, called the tiger. Oh, now, what did the tiger plan to do with his big teeth? What was his plan? What did he wanted to do? He wanted to eat Little Red Riding Hood. Okay? The tiger jumped up and chased. Chased means to run after somebody. Run after someone. Run after. Okay? Chased. Run after. Little Red Riding Hood. Alright? The tiger jumped up and chased Little Red Riding Hood round and round the cottage. Help! Shouted Little Red Riding Hood. What did Little Red Riding Hood shout when the tiger chased her? What was her shout? Excellent. She shouted, help. Okay. Okay. She shouted, help. Okay. Luckily, Little Red Riding Hood's father was in the forest. Straight away, he ran to grandmother's door with his big axe. He was a woodcutter, okay? So he used his axe to cut or chop the trees. When the tiger saw Red Riding Hood's father, he ran and ran and was never seen in the forest again. What did Little Red Riding Hood's father have with him when he ran to grandmother's door? Did he have a hammer? Did he have some flowers? Did he have an axe? Did he have some meat pies? Excellent. He had an axe. Okay. 14. Question number 14. What did the tiger do when he saw Red Riding Hood's father? What did he do? When the tiger saw Red Riding Hood's father, he ran and ran and was never seen in the forest again. Okay. Okay. finally, Little Red Riding Hood rescued her poor grandmother from the rubbish bin where the tiger had hidden her. At last, Little Red Riding Hood was able to give her grandmother those delicious meat pies. Rescued means to save. Rescued means to save. Save her poor grandmother because the tiger had hidden her where? In the rubbish bin. Okay? And then she was able to give her grandmother the delicious meat pies. Okay. The question says here, where? So I'm asking about the place. Where had the tiger hidden Red Riding Hood's grandmother? Where? Okay. Hid her in the rubbish bin. Okay. How do you think Little Red Riding Hood felt at the end of the story? How do you think she felt? She was maybe happy, okay, because she rescued her grandmother and she was able to give her the meat pie that her mother sent. She was happy. How do you think the tiger felt at the end of the story? Okay. He was sad. Why was he sad? Of course, because he didn't eat Little Red Riding Hood and he ran out of the forest. Okay, here you're going to draw your favorite part of the story. This is your job to do. Okay, so today we have read about Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, we were able to know about the traditional stories. What is so special about the traditional stories? We said that the settings could happen in the woods, or the forest, or the castle, or the kingdom, or a cottage. Okay, it could happen once upon a time, a long, long time ago, in a faraway kingdom. Okay, the characters could be bad and good. If we want to talk about Little Red Riding Hood, the good characters was who was the Little Red Riding Hood, of course, because she held some meat pies for her sick grandmother, was her father, okay, and because also Little Red Riding Hood saved or rescued her grandmother. Okay, the bad character was the tiger or the wolf. Some stories of Little Red Riding Hood says that there was a wolf. Okay, so in our story, it was a tiger, and this tiger was very bad. Okay, but at the end, the good characters win. Okay, I hope you are going to enjoy your drawing. Okay, and I want to see your drawings the next time. Thank you. Have a nice time. Goodbye.